I had it all planned out. Record before I leave for vacation, have everything ready to go. But things happened, plans shift, and recording just kept falling lower and lower on my to-do list. So I adjusted. I grabbed my old phone and my headphones, thinking I'll just record while I was on vacation. But hell, even that fell through. And you know what? I didn't let that discourage me this time. I didn't get sad or overwhelmed. I just sat still, laid down, and I let it be. Next thing you know, I was wondering, could I really record this on the beach? No mic set up, no quiet room, just me, the ocean, and a few words from my heart. I could have easily let all those setbacks frustrate me, but maybe this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Right here on the beach in the Dominican Republic talking to y'all. I am enough. I am Sarah LaJoy, and this is Becoming, a space for the woman who's been everything but seen. A podcast about healing while holding it down, choosing softness after survival, and letting God rebuild what I thought I had to carry alone. If you're figuring it out in real time, you're in the right place. Let's become together. So I was watching this snippet of an interview that Teyana Taylor did, and she said, I expected to be treated like a cup of tea. And baby, did that hit me. At first, I took it like, yeah, girl, treat me like a cup of tea. Handle me with care. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized I hadn't even been treating myself that way. I was rushing my own steeping, pouring out before I was ready, and trying to hold it all together for everybody else while quietly running on empty. So this episode is for the woman who's tired of living on autopilot, the one who wants peace but still feels like she has to earn it, the one learning to handle herself the way that she's always wanted to be handled, with softness, patience, and love. So let's talk about it. My mornings now, I start with tea and quiet. Before the kids, before the chaos. I just sit, breathe, and talk to God for a second. And most days, nothing fancy, just a hey, thank you for this morning, thank you for waking me up, and help me to show up softly. Sometimes I'll read the verse of the day on my Bible app. Sometimes I'll go back to what the pastor mentioned on Sunday. Most days I just sit in the silence and let my thoughts settle. Because I'm learning that it's not about perfection, it's about presence. And when I start my day centered with God, everything else flows differently. So after I had Jalen, this is when things really shifted for me. I went through a little postpartum phase where mornings looked different. I wasn't getting up with the kids like I used to. I was there, but I wasn't. And not because I didn't care, but because I was trying to find myself again, and I had no clue where to start. But that season, it taught me a lot about slowing down. It showed me what happens when I pour from an empty cup, and reminded me that peace has to start with me first. So one morning, I made a plan to get up before the kids, and not just like 5 or 10 minutes. I get up at least 45 minutes before my kids. And I really, really get up out the bed, clothes on, everything. So now I make a cup of tea, I stretch, and I even get my workout done. Making this routine for me, it felt good. I felt good. And so now when the kids come downstairs, most days the house feels different. It's not rushed, it's not loud, it just all flows. And before they head out the door, we have a little morning mantra that we made up on our own together. It goes, today will be a great day. We will be better than yesterday. Who did we put first? God and Jesus. And it actually just started with God, but Jalen decided to add Jesus one morning, and it's just been stuck ever since. And every single time, it brings me so much joy to watch them say it and actually enjoy saying it. It's like we're all speaking peace and purpose into the day before it even begins. And that's when it clicked. It's not about being a perfect mom, it's about being a present one. Proverbs 31:15 says, she gets up before dawn to prepare for her household. Now I'm understanding that the real prep might not be in the chores or the hustle or what I do for everyone, but in what I pour into myself first. That peace I build in the quiet, that's what keeps everything else grounded. When I start my day in peace, they live in peace. And even when mornings get messy, I've learned to just pause, take a breath, and say, God, let's try this again. Because peace doesn't mean that everything's perfect. It means I can start again whenever it doesn't align. And I've been trying to live in the moment more. And let me tell you, that's a whole journey by itself. I used to wake up already behind, hadn't even eaten breakfast, but was already worried about dinner. And to be honest, I don't know if that was the fat girl in me or if that was just me trying to be 3 steps ahead. But I realized that's how disconnected that I was. So lately, I've been teaching myself to just be. Like right now, sitting here on this beach, listening to these waves and feeling the breeze, I'm not rushing this moment. Why would I want to? I'm just letting it happen. So now, when I'm sipping my tea, I take a moment to actually enjoy it, to taste the flavors. When I'm reading, I let the words sit with me. And when it's quiet, I no longer rush to feel the silence. I just soak it in. And this might sound small, but this is my first vacation that I'm taking that I didn't have to plan a thing. Y'all, that's big for me. It felt weird at first not knowing the schedule, not being in control, but I sat back and went with the flow, and baby, it feels so good. Just showing up when I had to, letting somebody else handle the details, and actually enjoying it. It reminded me that sometimes peace is just trusting that things can go right even when I'm not managing every moment. And I'm learning to stop controlling the next step and just let life unfold. One cup, one breath, one day at a time. Learning to handle myself gently, baby, just like tea takes time, you pour, you steep, you wait. And that's how I've been learning to handle me. For the longest, I was gentle with everybody but myself. I'll tell people, it's okay, you're doing great, while beating myself up for not doing enough. But now, baby, now I talk to myself differently. When I fall short, I don't drag myself through the mud. I say, all right, baby, we'll do better tomorrow. It's okay. Because gentleness, it starts at home. And some days, that means taking a nap instead of pushing through. Other days, it's saying no and not explaining why. And sometimes, it's crying in the shower and still choosing joy afterwards. I was looking for love in everybody else, waiting for people to make me feel seen or cared for, when the whole time I needed to learn how to love myself. The kind of love that doesn't depend on who shows up. The kind that says I deserve softness even when nobody's giving it. And here's the thing. Learning to love yourself is tied to knowing what you bring to the table. Because when you don't know what you carry, you start accepting any kind of treatment. I used to settle for things that didn't match who I was becoming just because I didn't fully see my own value yet. But once I started seeing myself the way God does, soft but strong, flawed but growing, baby, I stopped shrinking to fit places I had already outgrown. Loving yourself isn't arrogance, it's awareness. It's knowing that I bring peace, I bring intentions, I bring light. And when you know that, you stop begging people to handle you right because you've already set the standard. And once I started loving myself like that, speaking kindly, giving myself grace, choosing peace over proving points, everything shifted. Because when you love you, like love you for real, it changes how you let people handle you. You stop chasing love and start living in it. Now listen, because some days life still be lifing. You know, you can do all the right things, say the affirmations, read the Bible scriptures, drink your water, and baby, something or someone will still test your peace before 10 a.m. But I've learned that peace isn't a personality, it's a practice. It's something I have to choose again and again. And when I catch myself getting snappy or overwhelmed, I will literally stop and say, all right, God, we need to try this again. And that's okay, because peace doesn't mean nothing happens. It means I know how to come back to center when it does. I know how to come back to it. And sometimes that means silence. Not every thought needs to be said, and not every moment needs a reaction. So I sip, I breathe, and I restart. Even at nights, in the evenings, I try to come back to myself, to slow down and let the day go. I stretch, light me a candle, and hell, sometimes I put on me a little music. Sometimes I don't pray. Sometimes I don't even pray with words. I just exhale and let that be enough. At night, I try to come back to myself, to slow down and let the day go. I stretch, light a candle, and I just speak positivity over myself. And sometimes I don't even pray with words. I just exhale and let that be enough, because I don't want to carry today's tension into tomorrow's peace. And here's a verse that comforts me. Proverbs 3:24. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. And that's exactly the energy I want at night. Sweet rest. Not because everything went perfectly, but because I decided to let it go. What didn't go? I decided to let it go. And that's exactly the energy I want at night. Sweet rest. Not because everything went perfectly, but because I decided to let it go. Even if the day didn't go how I wanted it, even if I didn't get everything done, or the kids were off, my patience ran out, I remind myself, I did what I could today, and that's enough. That's what gentleness looks like for me now. And here's the thing about tea. It needs heat to release the flavor. And I think God works the same way with us. Sometimes that heat you feel in life, it isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to develop you. It's bringing out what's already in you. So now when life feels heavy, I remind myself I'm not being punished. I'm being prepared. I'm not fragile. I'm just still steeping. And baby, that's freedom. So if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. Be gentle with yourself. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to restart. You are allowed to say, I'm still steeping, because you're not behind. You're becoming. Let this week be about handling yourself the way you always wanted others to handle you, with care, with intention, with love. Before you pour into anybody else, take a second to pour into you. Slip slow, pray first, and remember, you deserve to be treated like a cup of tea, even by you. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment, share it with your favorite cousin, your homegirl, hell, your sister too. Let me know what part hit home for you. Every voice I share, every story I tell, it's so she walks away with something. Remember, you are enough, and I love y'all real bad, real bad.